recordings, right?
A
My
little
name
bit.
is Melissa Manzi, and I am the college mental health counselor on campus. We are in my laundry area. I have laundry on the floor here. The laptop is over my dog's crate, so if they start barking, please don't be surprised. Their names are Jerry and Riley. But I thought I'm so tired of sitting that I'm actually going to mix this up a little bit, and we are going to stand. But you don't have to, you can turn off your video if you want. But we're actually going to do some Qigong, which is a moving meditation. If you've ever seen people, maybe you've seen them in real life or in the movies, many times it's the East and the West Coast where you see people going very slow movements like this. Qigong is actually the grandfather of the martial arts. And I actually went to China to visit my son, and there were hundreds of people in the parks doing Qigong all at once, because it's really the energy that helps you out during this meditation. But we're going to get that energy through the computer. I can feel it. Okay. So I'm going to have you stand up, and you can, as I said, if you're uncomfortable, you can turn off the video. I'm going to try to get the music going and back up, but let me just see. And I'll need you guys to tell me if the music is too loud. Or if it's not on at all, which it doesn't appear to be. I tested all these things beforehand. I did, honestly.
Don't worry, it happens.
Can you hear it?
Yes, just a little bit.
Kind of, yeah.
Come on. Better?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to stand back here so you can see me. So you're just going to stand with your legs hip width apart. Of course it stops. Hold on. No, it didn't. Okay. That's the birds. This is a great thing to do first thing in the morning. It's not too physically demanding. If you find it hurts, just stop. But I think it's going to be okay. Just remember, you're going to go really, really slow. And I'm going to tell you a theme in nature. And I want you to see if you can picture it. Because this first movement is called waving hands by the lake. So I want you to imagine that there is this beautiful lake out in front of you, and you're going to be waving at it. So if you can think of that in your mind, and you're going to have your arms down by your side, and you're going to very slowly lift your arms up. You're going really slow, almost like painfully slow. And you're breathing in, and when you get to the shoulder level, you're going to break your wrist, and then just take it back down. And that's where you're going to exhale. Each movement you do 3 times. So we'll do this again. And you can inhale up. And then exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. Did that feel okay? Not too hard? Okay, so the next one is we're waving on the top of a mountain. So this time I want you to pretend like you're on a mountaintop. It's beautiful. The foliage is in its peak. And you're going to start the same movement, and you're going to go slowly up. And then when you get to your shoulders, you're going to open up your chest to the top of the mountain and just grab in all that beauty. And then you come back in. And down. again and inhale up. Exhale as you open up your chest. Inhale, coming back. Exhale. And then one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This one, you're going to grab the rainbow up here. And you want to hold on to this rainbow. And it's beautiful. It's got all the colors. And you're just going to go to your right very slowly 3 times. Not very far. Just hold on. Don't let that rainbow go. They're too beautiful. And then you're just going to pivot to the other direction. And we're going to hold on again to that beautiful rainbow because it's going to keep us going. And we'll do 1, 2, and 1 more. Now, this next one is called pushing the waves. So you are at the ocean and you are standing right there at the tide line and the waves are going in and out. You can't see my feet, but I have my right foot pointed diagonally. My left is straight and I'm going to push off with my right foot and my left heel comes out. So you can get that motion. It's kind of like this, pushing off with your right, your left comes out. So when we do this, what we want to visualize is being at the ocean, but we want to push out something that's not serving us anymore, and we want to bring in something we need. So for myself, I might say, push out the chaos, bring in the calm. Push out the anger, bring in the forgiveness. Push out the hate and bring in the love. And then we're going to turn the other direction. And I want you guys, you don't have to say it out loud, just think of your own, what you want out and what you need to pull back in. Push out self-doubt. Bring in confidence. And I won't say anything here, so you can. And then one more time. And the next one is called picking up a bouquet. So we are going to bend down and pick up these beautiful flowers because we want to bring them in to put on our table. So we're going to, you're not going to see me bend, but we're going to bend down. And don't do this if it hurts, but just bend down where you can and pretend like there's flowers in front of you. You're going to pick them up and you're going to smell them. And then one more time, or 2 more times. And again. And then just bring your hands down, make a triangle like this. This is going to be the chi that we're going to put in front of our abdomen, near our belly, and just close your eyes and just take a breath in slowly and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. And there you go. So you can stay standing or sitting. I'm going to maneuver over here. What did you think?
Not bad.
Not bad. This is actually great to do with kids. So if you want to try it with your kids at home just to give them a break, it actually might be nice. Let me see if I can share my screen. All right. And what I want to come up is not coming up, but we are going to get to that later. Okay, so it's called letting go of stress or COVID. I put that in parentheses. It's a little bit of a joke. Let me just get that. Okay. Here we go. Do you guys want to be seen? I'm just going to kind of block us all so we can go through this. So this is the letting go of stress. And as I put in COVID, we might call it taking care of yourself, self-care, get out of your head. I saw get out of your house. I wasn't sure if that was a title or of everything. But I want to talk about this. This is actually not my PowerPoint. It's individual's name is Brian Seaward. And he actually was a trainer for me for holistic stress management. And I loved his PowerPoints because of the images. And so he gave permission for me to use it. And I want to give him the credit. So we're going to talk about stress. There are two kinds of stress, of course, right? There's the good stress, which is the, you know, that joy, euphoria. You know, you're getting married and you're planning a wedding, but you're stressed, but it's actually, you can't wait for the day. You got accepted, you know, at the Mount, and it's a good feeling, but you know it's stress, you're going to go in. So it's good. But of course, we always have to have the bad stress. People call it distress. It's just stress. I can't even read these words out loud because it stresses me out. But all I can think about is COVID, panic, worry, anxiety, impatience. So that's what we feel. And of course, there has to be two kinds of distress because that's a bad distress. First is acute. That is, it's very short-lived. It's when you get that speeding ticket. And funny story, not so funny, but my mother, who's 85, lives with me, and she gives me a call one day that she's just been pulled over by a cop, and she's texting me. Yeah, she didn't even call me. She's texting me. I'm like, I hope you're not driving right now. And she's like, no, I'm waiting for him. And she was going 55 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Good for the 85-year-old, but that stressed me out acutely at that moment. And then there's another kind, the chronic stress. And that's not as acute as that, but it lasts for days, weeks, months. Could be from the job, marital stress, financial stress, could be from chronic pain. It could be from my mother, who's lived with me for the past 30 years and sometimes does not behave. And then there's a bunch of definitions of stress. Loss of emotional control, inability to cope with problems, wear and tear on the body, the absence of inner peace. Isn't that delightful? Do we get inner peace? And any change you encounter in your life. Again, it's screaming COVID. But this is a common definition. Stress is a perceived threat, real or imagined, to one's mind, body, spirit, or emotions. What is really important about this definition is real or imagined. Sometimes the stressors that come in are actually not going to happen. We're imagining them, and our body goes through the same physiological distress. And we're going to talk about that later and why it's important to kind of have control over your brain and what you're thinking. But this is a bunch of different hormones that go through your body. The only one I can pronounce is cortisol, but it's called the stress cocktail. And it is known to do the following: increase your heart rate, your blood pressure, your breathing, increase muscle tension, increase perspiration. Yuck. But these are all for a purpose. And it's called the fight or flight response. We put in freeze there also. And when you had to run from the saber-toothed tiger, you did, and you needed to do this. That's how your body needed to work. When you are in some type of traumatic situation, you need to use all of these to get out. That is how our body works. Unfortunately, it's not very good for the mental, emotional, or spiritual stressors. And there's a lot of long-term effects. This is certainly not new. They've done a lot of studies on this. We now know that 80% of visits to primary care physicians are due to chronic stress. And it's not an association, but a direct causal link. And that's why it's so important to do self-care, because that is going to help you with the stressors in your life. So first and foremost, and I'm actually going to go ahead and show myself on this one, is you need to identify your stressors. And when I say that, I mean you have to be very, very specific. I had worked with this woman several years ago. She was a busy nursing student. She had kids. She had a husband at home. And she came to me. She was very stressed out. And I said to her, you know, what's going on? And she said, oh, it's academics. I said, oh, what do you mean? Are you not understanding the material? Oh, no, I understand the material completely. Okay, are you not able to make it to class? Do you have transportation issues? Oh, no, I get to class. Do you like your teachers? I like my teachers. I like their topic. She said, but I can never get anything done because when I get home, I have to do everything around the house. So I don't have any time. So her true stressor was that her partner was not supporting her through this endeavor and not helping her out, and everything came on her. So I had worked with her in two different ways. One was more long-term, to develop a communication plan with her partner, to start talking about how much help she needed and could he be there for her. And so that was more of a long-term thing. But the short-term solution that she came up with, she had a friend, they both had kids, they decided to start sharing the kids so that they would each get blocks of time on their own to get their studies done. So her true stressor, it wasn't academics. The true stressor is she wasn't getting the help she needed at home and wasn't able to get things done. So what I want you to think about right now, and we're not going to share this, is write down your top 3 stressors. But I want you to be as detailed as you possibly can so that you can come up with the solutions you need to. So go ahead, we'll just take a couple of minutes to do that. Oh, I'm supposed to shut myself off. There we go. Okay. You can volunteer and talk about stuff, or we can move on. Up to you guys. Still working?
I have one that I'm sure a lot of people are dealing with right now with COVID. It's your kind of personal space being respected by the other people in the household. It's kind of like when you want alone time, them respecting that and leaving you alone.
Yes. And have you been able to come up with any type of techniques to work through that?
I mean, it's like just locking the door, really, like coming into the room and locking the door. But I guess just I need to better communicate, because I almost feel like I'm hurting their feelings if I'm like, no, I want to be alone right now.
Right.
So I never express it. I kind of just like sneak away and then lock the door.
Okay. And you're right, it's the communication.
Yeah.
And if you could communicate to them, hey, no offense, but I need to get stuff done. I'm just going to go in here and lock the door. you know, versus just locking the door and they have no idea why. It's
Yeah.
going to probably get a different response.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're feeling. I had one of my sons living with us because of COVID. He just left and I couldn't go anywhere. He would follow me and he's a 28-year-old. And I was like, why are you coming in the room with me? I need to do this. So it is stressful just to try to get your space and how to do that. That's a good one. Thank you. Because I think that's really common.
The way I kind of do that is I put a whiteboard on my door and say what I'm doing at that time. So if my mom wants to like knock on the door or something, she's the one who always knocks on the door if it's closed. So you'll see what exactly I'm doing. If I remember to update it, though.
That's a good one. I like that. Anyone else?
And the thing was, my mom, I said 1, but my mom bought me like 5. So I was like, oh, that's a lot now.
Anyone else?
My biggest one, I think it's more of like fear. Like all my stressors are the imagined ones.
Okay.
I fear it. Not being successful with school. Like I really want an A all the time.
Right. And how have you done so far?
I've done really good.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I'm asking you this is we're going to talk about what goes on in our head, but many times what we're thinking isn't actually true. So I always challenge students to say, 1, guess how many thoughts you have a day. Does anyone want to guess?
At least 50 grand.
Yeah.
But
right.
I could say it's more than 1.
More than 1, but far more than 100. They estimate between 40 to 80,000 thoughts a day.
See?
We are thinking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But are thoughts facts?
What?
Is a thought a fact?
No.
No. Sometimes it is. You know, I'm thinking Massachusetts is a state. That's true. But in your case, what if I fail? What if I don't do this? What I ask students to do is, 1, acknowledge it's a thought. So I want you to kind of put it in a bubble above your head, like a cartoon. That's a thought. It's not a fact. What evidence do I have that that thought is true? And so I would ask you, I think it's Jackie, have you received any Fs?
No.
No. Okay. You know, so what's the evidence that you're gonna fail?
There isn't any.
There isn't any, right? So, okay, but we're gonna give this a balance. So that's a thought. What would be another thought? The opposite of I'm gonna fail.
I'm gonna succeed.
I'm gonna succeed. Do you have any evidence for that?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
In the last 2 years, I've gotten pretty much all A's and a few B's.
You work hard.
Yep.
You're disciplined.
Yep. And I'm organized.
So which side of these seems to have more evidence?
Well, the positive side has more evidence.
Right. So it is better for our brain, or it's better for you to switch your brain to that positive side, because the brain actually automatically goes negative. That's how it's built.
Why though?
Because it's protecting you. So in caveman days, every single fear that was out there, you needed to know for survival. The saber-toothed tiger was going to get you, you needed to get out of there. So the brain was constantly, and still does, looking for things to fear for protection. And we have to help our brain switch over. That's why when people say it's harder to be happy, actually it is.
It is, yeah.
Because you have to work at that. So it's just
Right.
something I work with a lot of students on their thoughts, mostly because that might be the only control you actually have.
Yeah.
You might not be able to control, especially now. So many things in our environment might not be in our control, but we can control what we're thinking.
Right.
So I just be mindful of that. I work with students all the time on that.
Well, I did, do it's a book, but I didn't read it. I got an audio of it. It's called The Secret.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And that
It's
talks
all
about
about positive thinking and like sending the signal out to the universe from your
Yeah.
brain with your thoughts and receiving what you're sending out.
Yes, and a lot of people love that book. I've had a lot of people read that book, they like it. And I think one of the reasons it probably works that way, I do think there is, once we start thinking more positive ourselves, we are attracting that from others.
Right.
And so it's just something, I think it's great. Whatever works for you, but it is true, your brain needs help with this. You need to switch over the brain to a more positive aspect. Okay?
Yeah, it's definitely I've been working on it for 2 years.
You know what? You are always going to work on it.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, you know how people go on a diet and they do really great and then they gain the weight back because it's actually a lifestyle change. You have to keep doing these things.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with our self-esteem, staying positive. We have to actually keep doing it. Even we're going to fall back in and then we got to pull ourselves back up, you know? So I don't think it ever goes away. I don't think it's always automatic. I think we do have to work at it. I don't want to crush you guys. I've got to see my PowerPoint. Let's see. Okay, maybe this will go. There we go. So we're going to talk about coping skills. Don't you love that rainbow? I love that. Purpose of affecting coping skills is to increase your awareness of the issue and work toward a peaceful resolution. That is really something about, you know, these coping skills are going to help clear your mind and your body so that you can start coming up with the solutions to what the problem is. We're going to talk about that, I think. There we go. I love this quote, and this is some of what we just talked about. So I'm an old man now, and I have known a great many problems in my life, most of which never happened. So we worry a lot. And sometimes, you know, you have to do it. It's something that is going to happen. But think of the times in your life that you spent a lot of time worrying about an issue or problem that actually never happened. And what wasted energy that is. And that's why checking your thoughts, making sure what you're thinking is true, is very important. We're going to talk about these coping skills. So reframing, again, we're talking about our thoughts. I always share this story. I can't smell or taste. I haven't for the past almost 30 years. I am allergic to penicillin. I had a reaction, lost my smell and taste, and I went to every doctor I could find, and I went to the best, ended up at Mass Pioneer, and the doctor there who deals with ear, nose, throat, hearing, said to me, "I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you. You know, that's the cross you'll have to bear." And I thought, that's a really lousy answer to say to me. And I think he knew by my look that I was like, what the hey? And he said to me, "You're lucky because you can see and you can hear. So if you ever want to lose a sense, smell and taste is the ones to lose." Now, nothing different happened, but he reframed how I thought about it. And in that moment, I thought I was lucky that I could see and I could hear. It didn't matter if I couldn't smell or taste. So it was the same situation. My viewpoint switched.
Right.
And
You start
that-
focusing on the positive.
Yeah, and I had to change my perspective. Who did that help? It helped how I felt.
Right.
It was great. I was thankful. And we're going to talk about that too. But having that change in perspective, nothing else changed, just how I thought about it. That's why reframing is so important. Comic relief. I love humor. As a matter of fact, we're going to do something that might make you guys feel uncomfortable, but we'll see. So because I'm a clinician, every year I go to what's called the Suicide Prevention Conference. It's a great conference, lots of trainings, but these people are constantly laughing and making jokes. And it's like, we're at a very serious type of conference. But they do that because that's a release. That is how they get through such serious issues. So they use laughter. So I have been trained in laughter yoga. Has anyone heard of it? No? So I'm only going to do it because I'm on Zoom. I would never do this live, but we are going to laugh. So you can either laugh with me or you can turn off your video and say, I'm not doing that. But I'm going to start laughing, and we're going to see who can laugh the longest and the loudest.
Oh no.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? You going to do it?
Force it out.
Turn off your mute. Let's go. I can't read the sign. I won't torture you anymore, but do you feel it in your abdomen?
Mm-hmm.
By any chance? So I went to this, we did actually training at the college. It was for staff, and it was an hour of this laughter yoga. After we came out of that session, one, I was in a great mood because laughter actually does work on dopamine in your brain and it lifts your mood. Two, my stomach was killing me. So 10 minutes of laughing straight is like 10 minutes on the rowing machine. Those are the muscles you're using. So what I tell students, especially if their mood is starting to go down, get something on YouTube that you find incredibly funny. Do it 10 minutes before you go to bed. Do it 10 minutes when you wake up. See if it shifts your mood, because I think it just might. And I don't know if any of you guys have watched my Mental Health Minute yet. Has anybody watched it? Well, my first Mental Health Minute, I talk about laughter. Even if you fake it, these muscles hit the brain and it actually helps your mood. So it's an easy thing to do, and I hope you all like to laugh. Something we all need right now. Okay, so I am gonna put you back so I can actually read my PowerPoint. Time management, number one stressor of all college students. I do an exercise with students and I do it on a grid. You guys probably do it with Visions because Visions is so great with this stuff. If you can get down your time management skills and take that stressor off, that will be huge because it will really help you going forward. So I'm not going to go into that too much because I think you guys get a lot of that. Do you? Communication skills, we actually talked about that, how you communicate to people. Even that one example of, I'm just locking the door, I'm not really telling them. You could get that stress level way down for both parties if you communicated in a nice fashion. Hey, I need this time right now, it's really important. How we communicate to people is going to have a lot to do with how they view us and how we view them. So it's something to really work on. Information seeking. You need to find out, like when COVID first happened, many of us, in order to relieve our stress, we were trying to find out the information that we needed so that we could move through our days. That brings the stress down. Okay, I know I need to get my countertops cleaned. I know I need to wash my hands. I know I need to wear a mask. So giving us more information helped to make us go, okay, we can do it. We can control it as much as possible. So always seek out information. It will help you solve your problems. Journaling, and I'm gonna go back up because we're gonna do a different type of journaling. So does anyone journal? Have you tried it, journal? And what do you normally journal about?
Oh, when I was a kid, I would. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I do a lot of like guided journaling. So I'll look for recommendations on just like books that give a guided journaling thing. And right now I'm doing one that's specifically for Hispanic heritage and just like the different aspects that you deal with being Hispanic.
Oh, cool.
So I do that because I don't really like free writing journaling. I'm not like that great at, but
Okay.
guided one helps a lot.
Okay, so there's one
I have
that
actually a good one for that.
oh, who is that?
Isabel, sorry.
Isabel?
I was gonna expand on that, like guided journaling. I also do that. I have a book from a bookstore that gives you a question once per day, and you answer it, and it's really relaxing, even if it's only for like a minute or two.
Great. Yeah, I would say whatever works for you that you'll actually do. We're going to do a different one today. You might have done it, and it's called gratitude journaling. So again, I want you to get out your pencils and paper. You're going to write down 3 people, not things, 3 people, or it could be pets, that you are thankful for and why. So we'll spend a few minutes doing that. Maybe I'll put on that nice calming music. Can you hear my birds? Maybe not. Let's see if I can get my dogs. Here. Want to say hi? This is one.
Very cute.
Looks can be deceiving, is all I can say.
Hello.
Everyone good? Could you come up with that?
Yep.
All right. So journaling, like I said, gratitude journaling is nice because of how it works on your brain too, which it lifts your mood. So it's a nice one to do, again, before you go to bed, kind of set your brain in a certain direction. I wouldn't probably do it every day. You might want to do it like two to 3 times a week, but it's, you know, instead of going on and on about maybe problems that we're having in our life, we switch it to who am I thankful for? And I should have said who first, but it's interesting, but when we do not get the same benefit from talking about what we're thankful for, we get a bigger benefit from who we are thankful for. I guess the other one I'll talk about is hobbies, or things that you do, and this is something I talk about actually in my mental health minute that's coming up. I worked with this woman who I had asked her, what do you do for joy? And she couldn't come up with anything. And then I said, what did you used to do when you were a kid? And so we went through this list, and not when she was a small kid, probably when she was in her teens, she started knitting and she loved it. So she started knitting again. So I think COVID might be the time for us to get back those hobbies, finding something we can fit in our life, not too long if we don't have the time for it, but try to find something and maybe look back to when you were a kid and write down on a list of all those things you used to like to do and pick one to do it. All right, moving on.
Hello?
Yes. Do you have a question?
No.
Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about some relaxation techniques. I don't know about you, but just looking at that water makes me feel pretty relaxed. This is another great quote. If you are looking for fast-acting relief, try slowing down. I don't know if people know Lily Tomlin. She's actually in Grace and Frankie now, but she's a longtime comedian. And we do need to slow down. And so this segment is going to talk about just the different things we can do. This used to say physical exercise. I changed it to movement. I don't like to tell people that they need to exercise because it's such a visceral reaction sometimes. People go, oh, I can't exercise. You just need to move your body any way that works for you. It could be that you do the qigong in the morning. It could be you go for a walk. Maybe you dance somewhere privately or with someone, I guess. The one thing about COVID also
What are you up to?
is so much free stuff now. You can do yoga online, YouTube. You can do all sorts of exercise videos, and so much of it is free right now that take advantage of it. But my favorite is walking because walking can also be a meditation. So if you're ever thought about meditating, and we'll talk about, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now. If you do a very simple walk where all you do is focus on what your feet are doing. So when you're walking, you're thinking in your mind, okay, my heel is hitting the ground, then my toe, my heel, then my toe. And you're going to get these thoughts coming in, and that's okay. And then you say, okay, but let me see if I can focus back again. Heel, toe, heel, toe. And just try doing it for 5 minutes. Don't do it any longer. People start off way too much with their meditation and then they get turned off. So it's a challenge. Try to do a 5-minute walk focusing on your feet. Yoga, hatha yoga, because it's a more of a slow one, but any type of yoga is excellent for your mind as well as your body. We just did qigong. Some people do tai chi. Again, tons of videos, far better than mine, that are out there. So I really think it would be something to access. And meditation that we just talked about. And the research behind meditation, we can't ignore it anymore. It does change the brain. So it's a really great one to have in your toolbox. Diaphragmatic breathing, which I'm going to do with you guys right now. Again, you do not have to put your video on. I'm going to put mine. I have to put mine on. If my kids were here, they would be horrified because I used to tell them what I do in my workshops and they would be like, oh, Mom. I got to back up. So diaphragmatic breathing is, I don't know if you can, that's the stomach. When you go to breathe in, you're actually pushing out. So it's the opposite of what you might think. So when you breathe in, you want to go, you want to push your belly out. And then when you exhale, you want it to feel like your belly is hitting your spine. So I want you to try it. I'm going to do some counting. I'm going to say breathe in for 4, and I'm going to count very slow. I'm going to tell you to hold it, and you don't do anything. Don't breathe for 2. And then I'm going to tell you to exhale for 6. You always exhale longer than the inhale. And you can do it out in through your nose, out through your mouth. So if you want to go ahead, and so we don't have to look at each other, you can close your eyes. You might want to, you know how you see people who have their palms up? You can put your palms up on your thighs. And I'm going to do that too. And close your eyes. And you're going to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you were to do that for 10 minutes, you would actually get a response. Your body would actually start to relax. So that's if you want to just do the most basic one, just inhale for 4, hold it for 2, exhale for 6. So I recommend that because you can do it anywhere. People don't know you're breathing. You have to breathe. And then the other one I'm going to do with you real quick. This one's called progressive muscle. Has anyone done that one? So some people like this who really don't like the breathing thing and they like things that are more physical. So I'm going to do 2. So what you do, your shoulders, we hold a lot of tension here. We're on the computer a lot, we're, bent down. So you want to bring your shoulders up. And if this hurts, don't do it. But you want to scrunch your shoulders up as high as you can. So you're contracting your muscle. And you're going to hold them tight, really scrunch it. I want you to breathe in. When you exhale, let your shoulders release. Progressive muscle is great before you go to sleep if you have trouble sleeping. You start in bed and you start with each body part, usually from the feet, but you can do it from the head. You would scrunch your feet, you would do this, hold it, release, you would scrunch and you go up your body up until your head. The other one we're going to do is take your fist, put them out in front of you. And again, if this hurts, don't do it. And you are going to tighten, tighten, tighten your fist. Keep tightening, tighten. Inhale, exhale, let go. So the idea of this is every body part gets contracted and then it gets released. Guided mental imagery. So the journaling is kind of like that. If there's an app I could recommend, it is Insight Timer, INSIGHT Timer. All of it is free, never charges. They have wonderful guided imagery on that. So again, things that you can use out there that are free. Coloring. Did people get their crayons and their coloring? Did anyone do that? Did everyone do that? Oh, perfect. Did you already color? So coloring to me is mindfulness. Because when I do coloring in a workshop, everybody is focused on what they're coloring. And it's one of the few activities I do where people actually really get into it. And so they're being very mindful in those 5 minutes. They're really thinking about coloring. And that's what mindfulness is that whatever activity you're doing, you're all in. That's what you're thinking about. And that's how our brain works better, actually. So how much time do we got?
5 minutes. Yeah, I think we have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to let you do your coloring later. But I hope you really do your coloring. Are you going to do your coloring? Yay! That's your homework.
Yes.
Color.
Absolutely.
But try it for 5 minutes, and that is such great practice. Mindful. Music, real quickly. Music again hits those dopamine levels, and it just makes our mood better. But don't listen to Adele if you're depressed. I always tell students, can you watch what you're listening to? Make sure that what you're listening to is actually helping your mood. Again, simple things to do. I have to talk about sleep because if there's one thing you get out of this workshop, please sleep. Good sleep hygiene is going to save you for your mental health and your physical health. The number one thing is turning off the screens, your phones, your laptops, the TVs, 30 to 60 minutes before going to bed. It's crucial because those things actually tell your brain that it's daylight and it wakes it up, and we want to calm the brain down. You can try a hot bath or a shower. Avoid exercising 4 to 5 hours before bed. And this one, a lot of people struggle with, but if you are not sleeping, let me just turn this off. If you are not sleeping, in 30 minutes, get up and go do something boring, like read your textbook. And then try it again. And also make your bedroom, if you can, wherever you sleep, just for sleep. Because we want our brains to think of the environment for sleep, not for doing homework, watching TV, being on our computer. There's many things online you can find about good sleep hygiene, but it is the number one thing you can do for yourself to guard against mental health issues. All right, we're almost done.
Okay.
I cannot and should not be
Hey.
cured of my stress, but barely taught to
Just a
enjoy it.
couple of minutes.
We are all,
So we're just wrapping up, but thank you.
and it's better to accept
Funny you
it.
send that because I was working on the application form. I just finished revising it.
So
It's
I'm
in the
hearing
shared
Laura.
folder.
It's not on mute.
So you guys should take a look at it. I think I updated
All
all
right.
the semesters and dates and stuff.
I am going to just show you guys quickly on my end.
Okay.
We're off. We can hear you.
Hear you. I'm going to, hey, Gaurav, you were talking. Where are you now?
He was talking to someone else, I think, on the phone. That's what I heard.
All right.
Forgot to unmute.
Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about something real quick. Let me see if I can find it. On iConnect. Where is it? I didn't pull it up. Are you guys familiar with iConnect?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. On the
Yes.
homepage. when
I'm quite familiarized with
yeah, all right, good.
iConnect.
Good. So on the homepage, there's the first thing you open up, it says mental well-being course. You guys see that?
Yep.
Yep.
If you take that course, you should have received an email for an invite for the course. It's free, it's 45 minutes. It has a lot of what I talked about, but more so. And if you complete it, you get entered for a raffle for a free $100 Amazon gift card. And we are giving away 4 of them, so I would recommend you do it. If you want to, it's voluntary. The other thing is, if you are, because I can't pull up what I need to pull up right now, on your iConnect under support services is my counseling website. Go on the website. There will be my mental health minutes. So every week, hopefully I get another video out. But there's also a lot of great resources on that website for you to learn about your mental health. And I always recommend very highly that people get as educated as you can about your mental health, just like you would your physical health. So that's it. I think I got everything in there that I wanted to say. Except to make an appointment with me, if you are seeking counseling, you just have to email me, put counseling in the subject line. I see a lot of students, actually most students have actually liked doing it by phone. It doesn't matter to me. I can Zoom or I can do a phone call. But that is also a service available to you. Any questions?
No.
The
Okay.
mental health thing is only 45 minutes long and that's it.
Yep. It's geared towards, I will caution, it is geared towards the traditional college age. However, everything in there, I think we can all use. So some of the things adjust for you. But 45 minutes and hey, you might get $100. Now, did people bring the M&Ms? Because that's the one thing I didn't get to. Oh, how much time do I have? Did anyone else bring M&Ms? 0.
We're already over a minute.
Okay. So you know what? I am going to email my M&M meditation and you can test it out. All right? Sound good?
I
Okay.
think we did this in the like welcome session for the
Oh,
nurse.
good. So you know what it is.
Yeah.
Well, just eat the M&Ms then. All right. Any questions?
No.
All right. Well, thank you. You guys are my first experiment for my workshop with trying to use everything. So I hope you benefited from it.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck this semester.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you everyone
Bye-bye.
for coming. Sorry about the interruption.
No worry, Gora. Love you, man.
Bye.
Bye, honey.
Bye.